Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome to tomorrow's Thespians. We have a wonderful show in store for you guys tonight. But before we get started, let's go ahead and meet the individual who are going to be critiquing the actors tonight. He's one of the stars of the smash hit A Chorus Line, can be seen in the new JetBlue commercials, and is the director and choreographer of a new musical called Romeo and Bernadette. Everybody, please give it up for Mr. Justin Ross. Yes.
Season 3.
There you go. All right, thank you. She's an actress, producer, and acting teacher known for her role as Tracy DeSanta in Grand Theft Auto 5 and currently producing a narrative feature that she wrote and will act in called Born That Way. Give it up for Michal, Sinnott, everyone. Welcome, Michal. All right. Famed acting coach and owner of the Artists Playhouse, he's renowned for acting in such films as Howard Stern's Private Parts, Simone, and Finding Forrester. He's none other than Barry Papick himself, everybody.
It's great to be back, Tom.
All right, thanks for coming back. Appreciate it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bring out the first performer. He's doing a self-written monologue titled Brothers. Everybody, please welcome Daniel Bashara.
I stayed. I saw everything. While you were up having a good old time of your life, brother, I was here dealing with this. The pain, the hurt, the frustration, and the sadness. The deep, deep sadness. I mean, you're great, don't get me wrong. I mean, you're smart. You're intelligent. You always knew for certain you were going to get what you wanted, but right now, you're scared. You're scared that what always worked will no longer work anymore. Look at you. Stop forcing this, man. You're better than this. No, I want to be better. No, I'm scared. I'm afraid that I'm never going to get to where I should be. But I need to suck it up and believe in myself. You too. Because Mom, she needs us. She needs us to be men, and we are now.
Daniel, wow, all right. Good, man. All right, good. Let's find out what the judges thought of that, okay? Okay, Justin, please.
You know, if I had the ability to do so, but we don't have the time, I would ask you to do it again.
Okay.
And slow it down about, over 50%. Because I think you've got great passion, and I think you've got great instincts. Mm-hmm. And I wish the next time you do this, you really take your time and think about how you're feeling in this situation, because it all stayed on one level. So I never really got into the whatever was going on beneath the words. Okay. So take your time.
Yeah, Daniel, I agree with Justin here. I think you had a great base, really good conviction, but I also wanted to, I feel like you could have taken it another layer by really letting go of what you had rehearsed. Mm-hmm. There was a little bit of a quality of me seeing you hitting all your bases, like, and I saw it in your body movement, like, there was like a 1, 2, 3 quality to it. Mm-hmm. So I think the challenge of rehearsing a piece, you obviously know the piece really well. You've obviously rehearsed it a ton. Mm-hmm. But when you know something that well, then the challenge is to keep it fresh. Okay. So, just kind of shaking off everything that all your preconceived ideas of what you're going to bring, and living in the moment. I saw you kind of trying to hit your marks instead of completely living in the moment. But, it's wonderful to be able to give you a note like that, because that's like the second level, and you have a wonderful base, and no doubt that you're on your way.
Thank you.
All right.
You're so sweet. I like you, Daniel. I think I liked what you did, but I thought that what it lacked was a little bit of technique. Mm-hmm. What Justin was saying was absolutely right. It didn't have an arc. So what happened was you came out firing, and it had no place to go. Mm-hmm. So, when you look at a piece, even a piece that you write, you have to approach a piece that you write as the actor, not as the author. And you have to really build an arc into this. And the arc will slow you down. The arc will give you a road to travel, and that's what happened today. You just didn't have a road to travel, so it became all one note. But really look at a piece as an artist, as an actor, not as a writer.
Okay.
And if I could just interject, as a writer, you have beautifully, no, I mean him as a writer, yeah. You have beautifully set up your circumstance in your first, moment here, your first 4 words. You left, I stayed.
Okay.
You've given yourself such a rocket pad to launch from. So take that and then let that.
Okay.
All right, Daniel, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Great. Give it up for Daniel. And now for the next performer, doing from a play called Hurly Burly by David Raby. Give it up for Cody Dowell, everyone.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to venture a thought that I might regret down the road. And anticipating that regret makes me, hesitate, right? And it's in that second of hesitation that I get a good look at the real feeling that it is, this regret, a kind of inner blackmail that shows me even further down the road where I have to end up living with myself as a smaller person, right? A man less generous to his friends than I would care to be. So, we're gonna have to put this through a multi-processing here, right? But I was outside, for a while, and what I heard in here, it really, really was passion. Sure, it was a squabble. Most people could have heard that, but what I heard was more. Okay, we all know that I'm gonna go back to my fiance sooner or later, right? We all know that, but what I think is that fact was crucial to the development of this whole thing because it made me what? It made me safe, a viable diversion from what might have actually been a genuine, meaningful, and to that same extent, or perhaps even more so, a threatening connection between the two of you. And I'm not going to pretend that I wasn't up for it, but I was never anything but above board. A couple jokes, nice wine, we got to spend the night. And I don't mean to be crass here, but maybe the point is that we have been made fools of here by our own sophistication. And so what am I protecting by not saying anything about it, right? My ego, vanity, right? Who needs it? So anyway, I'm outside and I'm thinking to myself, here's this great girl and this dynamite guy, and they are obviously, definitely hooked up on some powerful, idiosyncratic channel. So what am I doing in the middle of it? Am I totally off base here, Eddie, or what, man?
Cody Dowell, everybody. Cody Dowell. All right. Good job. Good job. All right. Justin, start us off, please.
Sure. All right. Well, Cody, here's the good news. You have an evident respect and commitment to the work. Your facility and I don't say this lightly, for how well you know this piece in terms of honoring, David Rabe's work and his writing. What is lacking, at least today, was a real living in the moment, experiencing that for the first time, trying to make sense of those thoughts. You rehearsed it too well, and you were too stuck in what it was you wanted to do. So I didn't see somebody living, I saw somebody acting.
Yeah, I agree with Justin as well. I'm happy to see that you picked a piece that we know Not even necessarily that we know, but it's just nice to see good playwrights work. And I mean, no offense to anyone that's bringing their own pieces to it, but I think you can't be everything, and it's nice to let the playwright do their job and to bring that piece to it. The main thing that I felt like was missing is a point of view of who you were talking to. I didn't see your relationship to Eddie. I didn't really know who you're talking to. And I mean, obviously, intellectually, I know you're talking to Eddie, but I don't know how you feel about him. I don't know what your perspective is on this person or what you want from him. And so it just kind of fell flat as a result because there wasn't that like fire or objective to get what you wanted from this person you were talking to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, David Rabe is my favorite contemporary playwright. I think he's an amazing playwright. I did in the Boom Boom Room in New York, and I think Rabe is a fantastic choice for you. But I have to agree with what they said. The personalizations weren't strong. You really have to know who you're talking to with Eddie. You really have to, even when you mention your fiance, I want to see her. You have to paint those pictures for me. The only way you could paint those pictures for me is by telling your truth, finding the truth within yourself and telling your truth. And that's what was missing today. It was structured well. I thought you could have taken a lot more time with your transitions. The transitions were sort of rushed through. But the personalizations weren't there. And for this to work, the personalizations have to be grounded and strong.
Thank you very much.
Cody Dowell, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. And next, doing Collision Course by Lindsay Price, give it up for Timothy Paul Evans, everybody.
Millie? Oh, I knew it was you. Oh, I wasn't sure at first, but here in the light, even with that hair shade, I never forget a face. All this time I've lived with it. All this time I've lived with a pierced heart. You don't know the pain you put me through. Millie, when you went to town this afternoon, you smiled so sweetly. It was like a ray of sunshine. But you said you were just going to town to get a few things. Just a few things. You said you'd be back in time to fix supper. And then you smiled and you waved. And I waited. And I waited. And at supper time, Mr. Johnson from the mill came to the door. And he said there was a body in the river. He said that you jumped into the river, that the Curly Boys saw you jump off the Uptown Bridge. Well, I knew he was lying. It wasn't the truth. Well, you had no reason to harm yourself in that way. I'm a good husband. I am. Well, I kept the garden up. Well, I didn't do as good as you. I'm not good with weeds and things. And the porch got a fresh coat of paint last fall. They said that you wouldn't return. But I knew you wouldn't desert me. I knew you'd come back.
All right, Timothy. All right, good. All right. Let's hear what the judges thought about that, okay? Okay.
Wow, Timothy, I thought you did some really nice work there, and because I saw a lot of good work, I would love, if you have the opportunity to do it again and really define the emotions that you're feeling when you see this woman, or at least when you think you see her, that roller coaster of emotions that I got. It was like you were, 50% there. I'd really like to see you get a little bit further when you shared that she was your wife. It threw me. I didn't feel that was a man seeing his wife in a good light and then in a horrific light. So that wasn't clear enough. Her characterization and your feelings about her. So that's what I would suggest you continue to clarify. But really lovely work.
Yeah, I feel like you did a really good job of emotionally preparing coming into this, emotionally full. But I wanted to see you trust that a little bit more. You started off, with a lot there, but then sometimes I felt like you were overacting or pushing. I think that, obviously this is a very unhinged character. It's someone that, can be way up here, but it felt a little bit like you were playing the idea of someone unhinged rather than really living through that and riding that roller coaster of this person that doesn't really know what's going to come out of their mouth next. It felt a little bit like you were playing the idea of the character. So I want you to live more in the moment with who this person is and allow yourself to be surprised by what comes out of your mouth rather than planning it.
Timothy, I like your robe.
Nice.
I think they were being really nice to you because I thought you were acting all over the place. And I saw this as a piece that you could have really dropped yourself into. And instead, you chose to rely on acting tricks rather than really living in this moment. I think Justin said you were 50% there. I thought that intellectually you were 100% there, and acting-wise about 2%. I think that you really have to drop in. You really have to make choices. You really have to see the piece and understand the piece and build an arc in the piece because that's what was missing. It became a lesson in acting, and what we try to do is do as little acting as possible.
I think that's harsh. I do.
Okay.
I do.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
You want to say why you thought it was harsh? Go for it.
Yes,
Go for it, Justin.
because as I already shared,
Yeah.
I felt that. Yes, I agree that it was a little prepared.
Mm-hmm.
We find that a lot here. Through the past 2 seasons of this show, we gave this critique over and over and over again. I get it as one who acts. It is important to make choices before you walk out onto the stage. And it's just as important to let them go and then live, and become that. And when the technique, matches with the soul and the spirit, then you have magic. And that's what we all aspire to. I felt some of that magic.
I think you have to do the work, and I think letting someone get away with not doing the work and just coming out with a prepared piece is a mistake.
But he's still prepared a lot.
That he did.
All right, everybody. Timothy Paul Evans. Thank you so much, Timothy. All right, thank you so much. All right, thank you all. We're going to bring the actors back out again. We're going to get some final thoughts from the judges and get a word from the actors. Actors, please join me on the stage again, please. All 3 of you. Daniel, Cody, and Timothy. Come on out. Come on out. Come on out. Come on out. I say, Mickey Rooney, no? Even the way he sounded, I remember when he first came in, he just, boom, I just thought about that and all that stuff. I don't know. That's what I thought about. But let's go ahead and get some final thoughts. Well, let me ask you, each one of you, first of all, what did you think of Cody, starting with you. What did you think of the judges' comments?
I thought that they were very well said and that it helped me realized, I knew that I was missing something, and I knew that there was that disconnect, and it was very nice to hear that, because I believe that is what I was missing, was my opinion on the other people, or the idea that I was actually talking to people for the first time, and I think that's definitely what it was missing.
Okay, good. And Daniel?
I feel the same way. I think they gave us great criticism, and I can take that back and work on it. So.
Right. And I think it's a good thing. If they say they want you to do it again, that's a good thing, because that means they see something in it. So that's always a good thing. It's not a negative thing for them to do that. And Timothy, what about you? What would you thought of
I
it?
thought it was great. It just goes to show you never stop learning and growing. It was great. Thank you, guys.
Okay, great. Let's get some final thoughts from Justin.
Sure.
Okay?
Well,
Justin.
it's a pleasure. Thank you for letting us know that our opinions do help you. When I poked my head into the waiting area before we shot today, and I said to everybody, one word of advice or 2 words of advice, as it is, don't act. And I got these looks. Everyone could have seen their faces. The eyes bugged out. It's like, what? I come here to act.
Telling an actor not to
I
act.
think that is sort of the overall essence of what we're trying to pass on to you is technique is great, and it's important. And it's important to know your lines, and it's important to make choices. And then you have to live it. And that's when it's really exciting for a viewer. So that's
Okay, great.
That's it.
And Michal?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for coming on. I don't think it's easy to stand in front of people and then immediately get, critical notes from them. It's, I think you're all really brave, and I appreciated all of your work. So thank you.
And Barry?
And I think that the 3 of you are wonderful types, and I think that there's a lot of work out there for you. I was impressed with things that each one of you did. And I just really want you to know that there is work out here. It's not impossible to be an actor. It's probable. It's about working hard. There's no mysteries. And the harder you work, the more the work comes to you.
It's a good-looking group, right? Me included. But it's a real
Absolutely.
good-looking group. Okay. Now, I want to get touch on one thing you said earlier. When you said "don't act," can you elaborate on that? In other words, what will they do not to act, to actually be seen acting? What would you?
I don't know that I can elaborate on it.
Okay.
It's taken me the better part of my acting career to learn how to not act.
Okay.
There are, certain techniques that teachers teach. The Meisner technique is one that has helped me a great deal, where you basically prepare yourself so well that you know this character inside and out, and what their motivation is. And certainly, and the simplest thing of what your lines are, so that you can then free yourself, so that you step on the stage, and you don't have to think, and you don't have to prepare, and it isn't as mechanical. It isn't mechanical at all.
Just do the work and let it go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just address that quickly. And the key is to tell the truth.
Right.
And the only truth that you know is your own truth. So don't act, tell the truth. Find the truth within you. Find who you're talking to in your life. Find who where you are in your life. Tell the truth.
Yeah, I think acting is playing an idea of something rather than actually being it.
Does that make sense? You guys understand? Okay. And like I said, even the best, the Meryl Streeps and the Denzels, they continue to study, and they're great, but they continue to study and all that. So, definitely. All right, well, thank you all so much. Thank you, each one of you. Appreciate it. Thank you all so much for coming out, okay? And once again, we have Cody Dowell, we have Daniel Bashara, and we have Timothy Paul Evans. I don't want to miss that middle initial, Paul Evans. And thank to the judges. I want to thank all of the crew out here. Beautiful work, guys. So thank you all so much for coming. And you're going to join us the next time, all right? All right, guys. correction. I
Wait,
want
wait,
the
wait.
audience to start clapping before you make the announcement.
Oh, okay. All right.
So let me tell Marion to have them clap first
That's
and then
fine.
make the
That's
announcement. That
fine.
way it goes on long. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
okay.
Cool. Okay.
4, 3, 2, start the applause. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Donald. Wait till they get a load of me, Briggs. Please welcome your host, Donald.
Thank you so much for coming this afternoon. I really appreciate it. I am Donald Briggs, and this is tomorrow's Thespians. Before we bring the performance out, let's go ahead and meet the judges here to critique them. He's one of the stars of the smash hit A Chorus Line and can be seen in the